Hi and welcome back. Back in the kitchen. We'll go ahead and do another crafting video soon. I have a lot that I need to get through. Really? Go outside? No? Okay. You're gonna need... I got a camera buddy. This week has been pretty busy. It's the small things that we've been working on, you know, cleaning carpets, dusting everything, you know, things that tend to pile up after a while. We have got a lot of that done this week, and because of all the things that we've been getting done this week, this is going to be a quick video. I am making ribs, pork ribs, and I have 2 jars of my peach barbecue sauce that I made in 2022. We're going to be using 1 jar today with the ribs. Nice and simple. We're going to go ahead and cut everything up, slather it, put it in the oven. If you have beef ribs, okay, you can't really do it that way, because if you just put the ribs into the oven with sauce, okay, it's not going to get so tender. You have to boil them first. You boil the ribs first, then you put them in the oven and put sauce on them. But you don't do that with pork ribs because the meat is a different consistency. I am also going to go ahead and make some cheesy potatoes. So let's get started. Now, this is all going to go in the oven for the most part. I do need to boil the potatoes first. You want to boil them about halfway, about 10 minutes. So where they're not quite done yet, but done enough to where you can put them in the oven and let them steam themselves to the point where they're done. But we are going to go ahead and make a type of cheese sauce. Kind of feeling Mexican, so we'll do a Mexican cheese sauce. How's that? And this is all we're going to do with the ribs. Just slather it all on there. You can do it pretty if you want, but nah. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and cover this with foil. Now this is going to be low and slow at 325 for about an hour. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start our water for our potatoes. For this recipe, I like to have my potatoes kind of chunked like this, 1 by 1 squares. Only because if you slice them too thin, you have a tendency of overcooking them. And we don't want that. Oop. Now, once the potatoes are done, you're going to want to drain them and let them cool just a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and shred the cheese. Usually I have this already pre-shredded, but you know, it's the small things that need to be done around the house. This is one of them. Now, as a block, this thing was about a cup. But now that we're fluffing it up, it looks a lot more. And you want to shred your own cheese if you can. The bagged cheese has cellulose on it to make sure that the cheese doesn't clump like that. It'll fall apart. Cellulose is a generic term for tree bark and other fibrous material that has zero nutritional value. And depending on the pesticides that are around that plant that is in your cheese, could actually be harmful. So always check, get it chunked, and shred it yourself. Now, once that is done, we are going to use the same pot. And now I am using 5 medium-sized red potatoes. We're going to use 1 cup of milk. We're going to warm that up. Add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Because my spice mixture has salt in it already. This is something that I found over at HEB, which is a local grocery store that we have. It's honey Aleppo rub. It's a meat rub, but it has the spices that I am looking for in this dish to make it a nice, kind of like a chili style cheese sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a good tablespoon of this into the milk. Give it that nice flavor. You can use any spice mix that you wish. You can make this kind of like a Italian style with oregano and basil and thyme, parsley. I am just in a Mexican mood. Now this is incredibly versatile. We can go ahead and add onion in here. We can add garlic, which I am going to do. I'm going to add some garlic powder, about a teaspoon. And some minced onion, because this is already liquid. This will help absorb some of the liquid in here. About 1.5 tablespoons. We're going to bring this up to a little bit of a boil. But we don't want to scorch this. After this is all nice and boiling up, we don't want to go ahead and reduce to low. And then add the cheese. It's okay if it's a little bit soupy, because whenever we put this on the potatoes and into the oven, it will thicken up. Because the rest of the potatoes are going to absorb the milk mixture. We're going to go ahead and put these in here. Add the cheese sauce. Mix it all up. We're going to put some foil on this, and just like with the ribs, stick it in the oven, 325, and they're both going to be done at the same time. The ribs and the potatoes. There we go. A little saucy, but very well done. And it looks like it's about ready to fall off the bone too. Let's go ahead and plate up. I've got 2 ribs on each one of these. Very much done. You know how I said don't worry about if it's a little bit soupy? That's just fine. Perfect for a July hot evening, I guess. It's dinner. Well, that's all I've got for today. We've got okra is slowly coming in. I almost have enough for gumbo. We'll go ahead and do that whenever I do have enough. But in the meantime, I have 1 more jar of my peach barbecue sauce. So we'll go ahead and make more and can those up. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.